Hi, I'm Venkat Ramakrishnan, President and CEO of Newbird AI. Today, I'm joined by Nav Bhachech, SVP of Engineering of Bedrock Analytics. We'll talk about how their team approaches reliability and how they're using agentic AI to improve their production operations. Nav, great to have you here.
Likewise, thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you. And Nav, I'd like to maybe have you talk a little bit more about your role in the Bedrock's business and what the Bedrock platform does.
Yeah, so Bedrock is in the CPG analytics space. We tell data-driven stories, and brands typically use our product and service to essentially uh, get increased sales in the channel. So be it online or be it in the in a Safeway or Pathmark or other grocery store nearby. That's the business we're in. Our customers tend to be small to enterprise brands that are selling in those channels, and we help them improve their sales stories to improve their shelf space and margins and such. So that's the business we're in.
Awesome. That's very interesting to be able to help merchants manage their shelf space, which is I'm pretty sure it's a hot commodity when it's dealing with a lot of large and small retailers, right?
Yeah, yeah, and that's kind of been a focus for Bedrock from the start, where rather than geek over the data necessarily, our product is very much tailored towards helping the salespeople with their sales motions and sales activities, so how to pitch to a retailer and how to get more shelf space, and a lot of our analytics and AI use is around that use case because we want to help the sales team, regardless of what the analytics may say. At the end of the day, that's why we're there
Yeah,
for them.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
And for a platform like this, reliability is obviously super critical, right? And but how do you relate to uptime and operational stability? Because you obviously have a lot of analytics and results and everything you need to deliver to your customers as they're kind of going through this bidding process. And so can you take us a little bit more through that?
Yeah. So I think it's, um, these days, as I'm sure you're familiar, is like just everyone's expectations for any SaaS service they buy are, they're going to compare you to with what, Google or Microsoft or any of those, or, AWS, so that level of reliability. So essentially, I think the expectations are there. And even though we're an analytics service with, uh, if anybody wants to do some analysis with our tool in the middle of the night, if it's not available or if it
Yeah.
starts to get slow in the middle of the night, we're going to hear about it. And our customers, they're going to complain. They're not shy about it. So we hear about it and we feel that pain when it happens. So I think we're very focused on things like availability and latencies and response times and things like that. So we track those metrics ongoing through our ops infrastructure, and that's very much one of our success criteria, if you will. So.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, that makes a lot of sense. You obviously are delivering a platform. Your customers are in a fast-paced retail environment, and they are obviously quickly iterating to continue to, compete against other brands. And you want to
Mhm.
give them a platform that they can rely on, right? I mean, that's absolutely. And then that's where your operational stability and reliability is key for your business. I mean, with that, would you be able to share with us, at a high level, what's your infrastructure looking like? Are you running in cloud, on-prem? And what kind of tools and tech stacks? How does your tech stack look like?
Yeah, sure. So we're an AWS shop, and well, that's kind of how we came upon Newbird in the first place. So we're an AWS shop in that we're using multiple AWS services to serve and store data and things like that on our infrastructure. So we use Kubernetes very heavily, EKS on AWS. We use RDS quite heavily. We use some of the cloud blob storage quite heavily. And we combine those, to essentially have the front end, mid tier, back end of our application. So the stack is there's a lot of Java, there's a lot of Python, and of course the front end is JavaScript based and it's React based. So that combination gets us into all of the analytics and data migrations and AI type or LLM type stuff we do. So.
Awesome. Yeah, fantastic. I mean, just kind of having you run on AWS and, like there's quite a bit of front end on all the AWS services. Looks like that's kind of how as you mentioned, Newbird came into your environment, and what has stood out for you as to why would you go look for something like Newbird in the first place, and what motivated you to bring the Newbird AI into your organization?
Yeah, so we had some specific pain points actually that pushed us in your direction, and we're a small but mighty team, and we didn't have the ops engineering skills in-house that we were really looking for. Most of my team is engineers who also do ops versus ops people. We were really looking to fill those gaps. And rather than getting to hiring of ops engineers or SREs or things like that, we said like, hey, how about we try and use this new AI capability that's emerging in that space and work with that instead. So that's when we learned about you folks and decided to sort of try things out. And it
That
was
makes a
easy
lot of
enough
sense.
since we were all on.
Essentially, your production ops, right? Your developers are running production ops today.
Correct. Yeah, we have a rotational, on-call schedule where the essentially the dev team, dev test, wherever that they rotate through the ops engineering cycle. And this works really well for the most part because everyone gets a feel for what's going on in the ops, but it also means that they don't spend enough time in there to get really deep in there. So
Yeah.
we every now and then we're going to hit these riddles that we can't solve or issues we can't resolve easily. And that's when we really feel the need for, we need a specialist here. We need somebody who can go in deeper than a rotating engineer. So.
Excellent. Yeah, I mean that's kind of what we specify as well is that we call ourselves, we tell our customers, we are your production ops agent, right? I mean, essentially, we're giving offloading a lot of these production ops, helping your production ops teams or your developers running ops in production, apps in production. We kind of be their co-pilot, autonomous agent that helps them in their production ops. So it looks like it's a great match and great fit, for your use case as well.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we've been able to resolve issues to our satisfaction that we wouldn't have been able to otherwise because we didn't have that nature of skills in-house, or it would have taken us a really long time to get there eventually. So I think between the shortcut and actually finding the resolution, it's been super helpful to have your
That's
tool.
awesome to hear.
Yeah.
That's awesome to hear. I mean, kind of latching on to that, would you be able to share with us, maybe one or two real life use cases where you felt Newbird AI was able to accelerate your understanding of an issue and maybe surface issues or areas that you weren't originally looking into, but it turned out to be the actual root cause of the problem?
Yeah, sure. I'll go from some of the recent ones that have
Okay.
happened in last week. It's Monday now, so on Friday we had an issue whereby we had trouble with slowness in our database that we could not explain. And we had some engineers looking at the code, and instead we started a parallel investigation, new bird and things like that. And it turns out that it was an issue with auto vacuuming and dead tuples inside PostgreSQL. So
Wow.
that was something that we probably couldn't have got from looking at the code, and was probably related to the direct operational infrastructure in this case. So that saved us a lot of time and sort of pointed us where the problem was versus trying to look at code instead. So that was a recent example of where it was kind of nice where we landed on the resolution rather quickly because of using your tool. Other than that, we've
That's
also
fantastic.
had, little before that, I think we were tracking pod life cycles in our Kubernetes infrastructure, and there was a problem with pods being sort of with pods dying and restarting, and we weren't clear what was going on there, why that was happening, and that was another investigation that Newbird sort of went in and root caused that for us. And actually, that was a good one because it gave us more than a couple of possibilities. and then one of those was the right one, and it sort of pointed us that look at this and this kind of thing that was going on. So that was a good use where we were able to use that to eventually narrow down and then verify with the metrics that it had brought that yes, indeed, that was the case. And that helped us resolve that issue as well. So I think those are a couple of recent cases that it's been helpful, and actually pointed us in a different direction than we might have gone by ourselves. So
Makes sense. This is
yeah.
fantastic. Like both the use cases, both the issues you mentioned, that's exactly what we built NewBird AI for, right? Is that to be able to surface issues or triage issues that takes a long time to converge on. A lot of code surfing, log surfing, digging deep into the metrics and traces. But if you can offload your team from having to go through all of that and quickly deliver the root cause, be it a database issue or a Kubernetes issue or just a regular cloud infrastructure or platform infrastructure issue. That's what we built NewBird AI for. It's just heartening to see how your team has benefited from the product. Nav, we're super grateful for your support and confidence, and we look forward to continuing to serve you.
Yeah, likewise. No, it's been a great partnership, like I said, and it's helped me push back the hiring of an ops engineer for that role. So, as somebody who's running the team, it helps me with that as well. And we love that as well. It's been good working with you guys, getting to the bottom
Awesome.
of these issues.
And now, just one last question. You kind of like you're the innovator here. You've adopted. You're running a lean team that's doing great things, and you're also partnering with us and other frontier model companies. What would be your advice to engineering leaders and CIOs as they look at agentic AI for production operations or agentic AI to bring into their infrastructure stack? What do you suggest they should look at or they should be looking for?
Yeah, I think we're going through this as an industry right now, but I think the wave of models that came out, starting early January this year, have really changed things substantially. And I think most of the oxygen in that discussion goes to how, coding is happening through those agents, which is, I mean, that's a great thing. But I think there's actually, it's underserving the rest of the changes
Yeah.
or the use cases for those same new models that were released. And things like ops can benefit quite dramatically, I think, from the expertise these models are able to bring. And you can certainly use them to, remap your workflows. So if you had a playbook that was doing something, guess what? You don't have to manually write and update those playbooks anymore, right? Those can be auto-generated. Those can be improved. You can automate so much on the ops side as well. People keep talking about the dev side of the house only,
Mhm.
but like the ops side is also very underserved with these models right now. So I think
Yeah.
products like yours are, you know, you're going to have a lot more competition, I'm sure, because it's a beautiful space to solve, and there's a lot of problems in that space right now.
Yep,
So it's
competition
a good
makes
thing.
everybody healthier, and then customers benefit, and the overall market strengthens. So we welcome it. And at the same time, we like to see the ecosystem being strong. And I completely agree with you, right? I mean, coding agents have definitely put development on steroids, but there's also good code and bad code that gets generated. But what's getting left out is helping run production operations at scale when there's just so much pressure being built up by apps teams and and coding agents, and where there's a rapid iteration of code and that's getting deployed in production. We at Newbert think like we are the sidekicks for the superheroes that you all are, where you're running these apps in production and you're dealing with a lot of churn and a lot of iterations, and we would love to partner with you and deliver you that agent to kind of like so that you're like operating at the same level of velocity, right? And that's kind of what we think that our mission in life is.
Yeah, no, that sounds great. Like I said, we could certainly use the help in that space. We have not been, big in that space ourselves. So certainly the partnership approach is great for us there. And working with you guys is, yeah, it's been a good thing in that space for us. So
Yep. Thank you, Nav. This has been phenomenal. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for sharing your experiences with us, as well as the great advice you gave to your counterparts and other industry leaders as well as how they should be looking at agentic AI. Really, really appreciate your time. Thank you so much.
Likewise, thanks for having me again. Cheers.
Thanks, Nav.
Yeah.